Your mind's blown!
We got a video.
Boom!
Did you know that Dr. Seuss invented the word nerd? That apple seeds release cyanide if you chew and swallow them? Or that Captain Crunch's full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down 100 useless facts you don't need to know, but we'll tell you anyway.
Ha! I feel smarter already.
These facts aren't pertinent to most people, but if you have a useless fact, drop it in the comments and we'll all learn together. If you want mosquitoes to stop biting you, simply play Skrillex's Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. The song's wild frequencies and excessive loudness discourages the bugs from biting victims and even mating. You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. The King of Hearts is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache.
Are you finally growing a mustache?
No, you know I can't do that, and it's cruel of you to keep bringing it up.
The color you see when you open your eyes in a pitch-black room is called Eigengrau. Cats can't taste sweetness. Like several other meat-eating animals, they lack the required gene. A group of hippos is called a bloat. The term first appeared in Juliana Berner's 15th century book, The Book of St. Albans, to which we also owe gems like a swarm of bees and a gaggle of geese. Alaska is the only U.S. state whose name you can type out using just one row on a standard QWERTY keyboard. It turns out that your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Because you use it more, it gets more banged around, so your body sends more nutrients that way.
Is that all you can do? Ow! That kind of hurt. God, is that bleeding? No, I guess it's all right. Ouch, though!
Despite having 6 legs, dragonflies can't walk. Their legs are used for grasping, rather than walking around. Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. In the English language, the dot that sits above the lowercase I and the letter J is called a tittle. Chickens and ostriches are more closely related to the Tyrannosaurus rex than reptiles such as alligators and crocodiles. The artist Anish Kapoor holds an exclusive artistic license to use what was until 2019 the world's blackest black substance, called Vantablack. The actual first name of the Monopoly mascot Rich Uncle Pennybags is Milburn. The Cookie Monster's real name is Sydney, Sid for short. Mattel's iconic doll Barbie also has a full name, Barbara Millicent Roberts. The full name of Toy Story's Sheriff Woody is Woody Pride.
Say, little mister, you notice any trouble around these parts?
Mr. Clean's full name is Veritably Clean, which came from a 1962 promotional campaign to name the mascot. The city known as Bangkok isn't actually named Bangkok. That's a nickname. Its full name is Krunte Mahanakon Amon Ratanakosin Mahintara Yutaya Mahadilok Pope Noparat Ratchatani Borirom Udom Rachaniwe Maha Asatan Amon Piman Awatan Satit Sakatatia Witsanukam Prasit. It holds the Guinness World Record for the city with the longest name.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The ingenious inventor of Pringles, Frederick Bauer, died at 89 years old. As per his wishes, his ashes were buried in an original flavor Pringles can. Originally, ketchup seems to have been made from fish. It later became mushroom-based. Only in the 1830s did tomato ketchup become popular. Ohio physician John Cook Bennett sold it in pill form, claiming it could help cure diarrhea, indigestion, jaundice, and rheumatism. Your sweat doesn't give off an odor. BO, otherwise known as bromhidrosis or osmidrosis, is caused by bacteria breaking down the protein found in sweat. Some of the first editions of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling were shipped off with misspellings and mistakes on the cover and inside. One such copy sold in 2019 for almost $90,000. A normal-sized piece of paper cannot be folded in half more than 7 times. However, if you could fold it 42 times, it would reach the moon.
Challenge accepted.
You cannot swallow and breathe at the same time, although some other mammals can. It's also impossible to really hum while holding your nose. Go on, we'll let you try. Cool, huh? Every US state shares a letter with the word mackerel except for Ohio. The word dreamt is the only word in the English language that ends with the letters MT. The lint that collects in the bottom of your pockets has a name, nur. It's defined as the substance that collects over time in the bottoms of pockets or cuffs of trousers. Snails have teeth, thousands of them. Fortunately, they're too small to hurt humans. Cows, on the other hand, have no upper front teeth. Vending machines are deadlier than sharks. According to a 2015 US report by the National Electronic Surveillance Systems, the machines cause 4 deaths a year on average. Compare that to sharks, who cause just 0.6 deaths a year on average.
For the final stage of my appraisal, I'm going to randomly select one of your vending machines to see if it can be rocked using human strength enough to tip and crush.
Speaking of deaths, coconuts and cows also kill more people than sharks do. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Famed composer Beethoven and the first United States President George Washington were alive simultaneously. George Washington would have been in his late 30s when Beethoven was born. The Tomatan is a hands-free backpack robot that feeds you tomatoes. It was invented by Japanese juice maker Kagome in 2015 as a way for runners to get nutrition on the go. Bees have 5 eyes. The 2 big front eyes help them recognize colors and shapes, while 3 smaller eyes on top of the head help with navigation. When he was 27, famed writer and poet Edgar Allan Poe married his 13-year-old cousin. According to his daughter, J.D. Salinger, the author of Catcher in the Rye, drank his urine.
Can you get sick drinking piss?
I think you can.
Even if it's your own?
Mr. Potato Head used to be made of actual potatoes. The toy consisted of the hands, feet, eyes, nose, mouth, facial hair, and other decorative pieces. For the body, kids were expected to provide their own potato. Contrary to popular belief, the Great Wall of China cannot be seen from space. However, the pyramids of Giza can. Soda fountain workers were called soda jerks, a play on their formal name, soda clerks. This was because of the jerking motion used to operate the fountains.
The guys I work with are a bunch of jerks. They're jerks.
Well, what makes them jerks?
Forget it, I don't want to talk about it.
According to actress Karen Black, Alfred Hitchcock didn't have a belly button due to stomach surgery. The first webcam was invented to monitor a coffee pot. This was because researchers in Cambridge University's computer lab got tired of walking over to an empty coffee machine. A coin toss doesn't have a 50-50 chance of landing on either side. According to math professor Percy Diaconis, the chances are 51 to 49 that the coin will land on the side that was initially facing upwards. The average belly button has 67 species of bacteria. The researchers behind this discovery found 2,368 different species of bacteria in all. Older maps included fake places to prevent plagiarism. Examples dating back to the 1800s show that cartographers would add fake streets, towns, or other landmarks to prove whether a competitor was copying their work. Bears don't poop during hibernation. A fecal plug develops in their bowels, allowing them to sleep continuously.
Listen, this is gonna be one hell of a bowel movement. Afterwards, he'll be lucky if he has any bones left.
Back in a jiffy is a common phrase for back shortly, but astrophysicists are a little more specific, defining it as 3 septillionths of a second. Furbies were initially banned from NSA headquarters in Fort Meade, Maryland. The NSA was afraid that the toys would hear and repeat confidential information. The longest English words that you can type on only the top row of a QWERTY keyboard include typewriter, among a few others like perpetuity. Blue whales have the largest male genitalia on planet Earth, but as a proportion of body size, the record goes to the barnacle.
It's a boy. And what a boy! That's the umbilical cord. It's a girl.
A blob of toothpaste is called a nurdle. If you say Jesus backwards, it sounds like sausage. In 2008, a British teen changed his name from George Garrett to Captain Fantastic, Faster Than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk, and The Flash combined. Queen Elizabeth II owns 165 dairy cows who sleep on waterbeds. In 1978, State Delegate Isaiah Dixon Jr. tried to make Randy Newman's song Short People illegal to play on the radio in Maryland.
Don't want no short people.
The largest bill to go into circulation in the US was a $10,000 note.
$10,000. It's chump change.
The infinity symbol is called a limniscate, from the Latin word for decorated with ribbons. The opposite sides of a die always add up to 7. The average American spends about 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. Spoon-fed is the longest English word that has all its letters in reverse alphabetical order. Pope Francis was made an honorary Harlem Globetrotter in 2015. The late Pope John Paul II was made one in the year 2000. Only 1% of corn in the US is sweet corn, the kind you eat on the cob. The remaining 99% is field corn, which is used as livestock feed, ethanol, and processed foods like cereal. I am is the shortest complete sentence in English. Hasbro has trademarked the iconic scent of Play-Doh.
Promise me we were all eating my Play-Doh pasta tonight.
Salt was so valuable in ancient Rome that it was used as currency. In fact, the sal in the word salary means salt in Latin. The legendary water gun, known as the Super Soaker, was designed and invented by NASA engineer Lonnie Johnson. In the US, 3.6 cans of Spam are eaten every second.
I'm mixing some Spam with the ground beef.
Can't get this in a restaurant in New York.
The word checkmate in chess comes from the Persian phrase sahmat, which means the king is helpless or dead. The word Pennsylvania is missing an N on the Liberty Bell, a symbol of American independence. Back then, this was an accepted alternative spelling. The Eiffel Tower has 1,710 steps and 108 stories.
You should warn people there's no elevator.
The candy flower cup that Gene Wilder chomped on in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was made of wax. Over 10,000 Coca-Cola soft drinks are consumed per second around the world. These include Coke, Fanta, Sprite, and others. When a child learns to talk later than others his or her age but is gifted in analytical thought, it's called Einstein syndrome. While it's contested, some biographers claim Einstein was a late talker. The Hawaiian pizza was not invented in Hawaii or by a Hawaiian. It was created in Chatham, Ontario, Canada, by a Greek-born Canadian man named Sam Panopoulos. The croissant was created in Paris, but by an Austrian baker, based on a traditional bread roll known as a kipferl that was particularly popular in Vienna. Paganophobia is the fear of beards. Sloths can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes, 4 times longer than dolphins. Due to contractual obligations, Frank Sinatra was offered the starring role in Die Hard. He was 70 years old at the time.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
According to Genesis 1:20-22, the chicken came before the egg. A buttload is an actual unit of measurement for wine. It's about 126 gallons. The season 6 Friends episode, titled The One Where Joey Loses His Insurance, came out in 1999. Tom Hanks' brother, Jim, does voice substitution work for Tom. He voices Woody for toys and video games. At its peak, the IKEA catalog was more reportedly widely circulated than the Bible. In 2008, a Brazilian priest floated up into the air using hundreds of helium balloons to raise money for a chapel for truckers. Unfortunately, the wind blew him off course, and his body was found months later in the ocean. A small antelope species called a dik-dik cries scented tears to mark its territory. The first products that the tech company Samsung produced was noodles. Some researchers believe that Alexander the Great suffered from Guillain-Barré syndrome and was paralyzed, not dead, when he was laid to rest inside a sarcophagus.
I'm not dead! What? Nothing. Here's your ninepence. I'm not dead! There. He says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not!
Nepal is the only country that doesn't have a rectangular national flag. The Facebook logo is blue because founder Mark Zuckerberg is red-green colorblind, making blue the richest color for him. The planet Uranus was once called the planet George, or more specifically, Georgium Cetus, meaning George's star. One court you might be surprised to find in the United States Supreme Court building is a basketball court. In the UK, it's illegal to wear a suit of armor in Parliament. There is a jail specifically for polar bears in Churchill, Manitoba, Canada. The term sexy primes describes prime numbers that differ from each other by 6, for example, 5 and 11. Many millions of years ago, snakes had feet and walked instead of slithered. Technically, cannibalism isn't illegal in the United States. However, there are laws against the desecration of corpses.
Look, you get one taste of delicious, delicious human meat, none of this stuff ever satisfies you ever again.
All clownfish are born male and have the ability to change their sex. The German word for a birth control pill is Anti-Baby-Pille.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.